I want to tell you the full vasectomy story, but before I do, I just have to preface it with this. He's fine. Okay, so if you've never had a vasectomy, you don't know anything about it, there's really like two camps of urologists. There's ones that do a twilight anesthesia, because it's just a 10-minute in-office procedure, and there's ones that don't. The doctor he was going to do the anesthesia, and he needed somebody to pick him up from the office. So he asked me, will you come with me? And I said, I'll take the day off, which is hilarious, because it's 2 months in, and he doesn't know I don't do anything, right? But I'm not gonna tell him I'm gonna look like a hero. I was like, I cleared my week for you, baby. I got you. So. I felt like we did research, right? He talked to a bunch of my male comic friends. He talked to a bunch of his guy friends. Every single guy was like, easy peasy. You're sore for a couple of days. You put some frozen bags of peas on your dick. You make some dick jokes. Not a big deal. So the day of the procedure, we get to the office. We're both in a good mood. I'm making jokes. I have to fill out paperwork. It's like, what's your relationship? I was like, best girlfriend ever, high-fiving the nurses. And it went great. 10 minutes, comes out, he's fine. I take him home, he gets in bed, anesthesia starts to wear off, and he starts vomiting everywhere. He ends up vomiting 5 or 6 times. I'm cleaning up his vomit, just being like, this isn't why I took off. It is why I didn't want to have kids. What a great reminder, baby. You're so smart. But he starts to tell me he's in excruciating pain. He's telling me he's at like a level 8 pain. And if you don't remember, covered in tattoos, things are pierced that shouldn't be pierced. He's pretty good with pain. And he's saying this is some of the worst pain he's ever experienced. And it's just not lining up with what we were told. So I call up the nurses, and I'm gonna be honest, I have so much empathy for these nurses. These are vasectomy nurses. Every single day, men are calling them up, feeling pain for the first time. And these women could give a fuck. Oh my God, they gave 0 fucks. They were like, he's fine, and hung up. I was like, what? I called 4 times. Every single time, they're like, he's fine, and hung up. And I don't know what to do. Because over the course of a couple of hours, his balls swelled to the size of a grapefruit. And over the course of a couple of days, he swells and bruises from his hips to his asshole. Whatever you're imagining, it's 10 times worse. And I don't know what to do. These women aren't getting back to us. So the first person I think to reach out to is my older sister. My older sister's been an emergency room nurse for 15 years. I text her with little to no context. I was like, boyfriend got a vasectomy, balls are huge, don't know what to do. She's like, this is out of my jurisdiction, let me ask my husband. She texts my brother-in-law, who's an EMT and a firefighter, even less context. She's like, Liz's boyfriend's balls are huge, doesn't know what to do. He's at the firehouse. He's like, let me just ask the guys. He asked everybody at the firehouse, my sister-in-law's boyfriend's balls are huge. Anybody have any ideas? So now half of Virginia is debating my boyfriend's balls, and we're no closer to any answers. So we start Googling. And I know you shouldn't Google, but we're desperate. And it starts to look like he has scrotal hematoma. And all the pictures are of dog balls. And I was like, you know who knows about dog balls? My dad. So I call my dad again with almost no context. I was like, boyfriend got a vasectomy, balls are huge, we think he has scrotal hematoma. My dad's incredible, by the way. My dad's amazing. He's telling me what he thinks is happening. My dad's telling me what he thinks is gonna happen next. My dad's telling me the best way to take care of him. I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm like, should we put him down? He was like, probably. Eventually, the nurses call us back. They prescribe him Percocet. I pick it up. He takes it. He really starts to feel better. He's like, wow, drugs are great. I was like, I told you. But we get through day 1. The next day, we go back to the original doctor, and he confirms that he must have hit a blood vessel, and it is, in fact, scrotal hematoma. It's incredibly rare. Less than 1% chance of it happening, but for some reason, it happens more to dogs? I don't know. Nobody explained that part. I can't help you. But he essentially said, hey, the worst of it's over. Your body's just going to have to heal on its own. But if it does get worse, you're going to have to go to the ER. So we go back home. He's still very uncomfortable. He feels very defeated. And I don't know if you can tell, but like, I'm not the best caregiver, right? Like, that's not where I feel like my expertise is. Like, I'm trying, I'm fetching frozen bags of peas, but like, I feel like what I bring is like making light of things and bringing humor to the world. So like, every time he would struggle to get up, I was like, you got big ball energy, biggest balls in Brooklyn, like really make him feel good about his new situation. So we get through the first week. At the end of the week, I had a road gig in Connecticut. I'm driving home in the middle of the night. He calls me up and he's like, something ain't right. I really think we need to go to the emergency room. So we get up super early. We go to the ER. We're sitting in the lobby. He looks at me and he goes, don't be weird. But I wrote down that you're my wife. I was like, why would you do that? He's like, I don't know, I just feel like they're not gonna let you back there with me if I don't tell them that you're my wife. Is that okay? And I was like, sure. But it's like, this isn't how I imagined it. Right? I don't know, I thought I'd know him better. I thought it would be more romantic. I thought his balls would be smaller. I had hopes and dreams for this moment. Also, I'm barely this man's girlfriend, and now I have to be a wife? I don't know how to wife. Do you yell? I don't know what I'm putting on lipstick. I'm looking for monologues. I am stressed. Eventually, they call us back. We go to the back of the hospital. You know, it's a little curtained off area. It's a bed. He puts on a little paper gown. But there's nowhere in this curtained off area for me to stand. So I'm kind of awkwardly standing outside of it. And at some point, this nurse comes over, and she's like, who are you? And I was like, his wife? It felt amazing, by the way. I get it. She like cowered away. I was like, fucking yeah. My boyfriend's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm a wife now. Eventually, a doctor comes over. He lifts up his gown, and he's like, whoa, I'm so sorry. And I was like, biggest balls in Brooklyn. And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, can I take a picture? We're like, sure? He goes, the urologist is upstairs. I want to take a picture, show him, and when he's ready, he'll come down and he'll talk to you guys. So we're like, okay. But then he just takes out his cell phone? Am I wrong for believing there's a doctor camera that doesn't leave the facilities? Now my boyfriend's balls are next to pictures of his nieces and cupcakes? Dude, he walked away. I was like, $10 says by the end of the day, your balls are on the internet. Right? I'm gonna be scrolling through Instagram like, honey, I think your nuts are going viral. I recognize these balls. They are huge. So at some point, he goes upstairs. They want to do a sonogram. They want to do a bunch of blood tests. I'm sitting on the bed waiting for him to get done. And I start to overhear the doctor talking about him to the urologist. And when I look over, the urologist is wearing a winter coat, and he has a bag. And he starts to walk away, and I don't know, it felt like he was leaving the building. So I ran after him, and I was like, hey, are you going to talk to my husband? He's like, yeah, I'm going upstairs to talk to him right now. I was like, fucking yeah, you are. I look at the doctor. I ask him a question. He answers it. But then he just starts diving into everything that's going on with him. He's telling me all the tests they're doing, everything that he's worried about's happening with him, all the drugs he might need to take. I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm like, should we put him down? He's like, do you mean anesthesia? I was like, no, I mean euthanasia. He's like, I don't think you do. I was like, no, I'm a wife, and if I want to unplug him, that's my right as a wife. He's like, I don't think you're anybody's wife. They're usually not excited. Eventually, they release him. They say the same thing the original doctor said. They said he's fine, that his body's just gonna have to heal on his own. So we go back home. Again, he's still very uncomfortable. He feels defeated. And I don't know if you can tell, but like, in my panic, I ended up telling my entire family about his situation. Because they're all in the medical field, and everybody's being incredible. Like, every day my mom would check in, like she would send me 2 ball emojis. I would send back 2 bigger ball emojis. But it's like a week and a half in, and he still hasn't told his parents. And I was like, dude, you gotta tell your parents. So he calls up his parents, and you have to know that he's an only child, so they like really love him. They're freaking out. They're like, oh my God, do you want us to come over? Do you need us to come take care of you? He's like, no, Liz is taking care of me. I was like, because I'm a wife now. He's like, you gotta stop. But eventually he puts him on speakerphone, and they're being so kind. They're like, thank you so much for taking care of our son. We don't know what we would do without you. Is there any way that we can help out? And I know I'm supposed to say something equally kind and reassuring back. I know I'm supposed to be like, I would do anything for him. It was my pleasure. His balls will be normal someday. Just something to put everybody at ease. But instead, what comes rolling out of my mouth is, he has the biggest balls in Brooklyn. And his dad was like, I knew I had to get dethroned someday.